What's going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today I'm going to talk to you about the top 5 most heavily shorted EV stocks in the market as of right now. So I want to go over all the things that you need to know, but first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. Starting off with stock number 5, Workhorse, sitting at exactly $1 over the last 1 year, down 87.14, and in 2024 down 86.11. 16.17% of the free flow is being shorted, works out to be 6.05 million shares. Friday shorts increased around 16.5 thousand shares, utilization 70.91, and then cost to borrow is 17.26%. Then through IBKR does indicate around 150,000 shares is available to be shorted. So I think just generally leading into this upcoming week, market is very optimistic. You have Tesla hitting all-time highs. A lot of other EVs are starting to gain a little bit more traction, not necessarily obviously Workhorse, but needless to say, you could see more of a domino effect where a lot of stocks just generally like to go up. And so again, something to kind of consider. Moving on to stock number 4, you have Canoo. So this one, it's kind of a hit and miss. It did go down 24.57% just Friday alone. Over the last 1 year, down 97.64, and in 2024, down 97.77%. 18.83% of the free flow is being shorted, works out to be 18.65 million shares. On Friday, shorts did increase 585,000 shares. Cost per average 84.7, and then utilization is 77.01. And just generally, you can kind of see what shorts have been doing. They just got in like crazy. So on December the 9th, the short interest was around 11%, and now it is at 18.8. So they have really started to get in, and over the last 5 days, it's been more of a love-hate relationship. So it did have a low of like 13 cents, spiked like 140 something percent to about 27-ish cents, I think, or 28 or whatever. And so yeah, interesting stock, definitely. Is it something that you need to YOLO in? Maybe not. Is it something to add to your watch list, especially with shorts really just scampering in? Yes, most definitely. So with that said though, it does indicate around 1.2 million shares is available to be shorted, and that has gone up quite a lot. So it goes to show that some big money has been buying this stock for the purposes of lending out shares. Very profitable for big names such as even BlackRock to take advantage of this fairly high cost to borrow. So again, something to keep in mind. Moving on to stock number 3, Rivian. So this one is gaining more and more traction. On Friday, it did go up 1.2%. Over the last 1 year, up or down 26.98, and in 2024 down 38.75%. 18.86% of the free flow is being shorted. Works out to be 140.28 million shares overall are being shorted. Cost to borrow average 1.25, cost to borrow minimum 0.88. So that's broken away from that negative. So there was often enough. A lot of brokers physically paying people to short Rivian, kind of messed up if you ask me. But on Friday, shorts did increase 171,000 shares. So that's kind of breaking the trend because shorts have been largely returning, because it kind of had a peak of around 20% short interest. So again, that's kind of a positive thing if that makes sense. But through IBKR does indicate roughly around 1.1 million shares available to be shorted. So if shorts really did feel that Rivian was just overvalued, there's more than enough ammunition for them to really double down to try to suppress it. Moving on to stock number 2, you have Faraday. So Faraday did get knocked down from the number 1 position last time I did a video. So on Friday, it did go up 5.98% over last 1 year, down 96.08, and in 2024 alone, down 95.52%. So this stock definitely hasn't been really performing all that well, but it is on the threshold list, has been on the threshold list, looks like since roughly around November the 29th. So in theory, the SEC should be kind of going after the market makers this upcoming week, because any stock on that list for 13 consecutive trading days, that should be happening. But whether the SEC does or not, that's anyone's guess. But 22.2% of the free flow is being shorted, works out to be 9.71 million shares. For on Friday, shorts did increase around 40,000 shares, and then cost to borrow average is 29.72, utilization 91.56, and then through IBKR does indicate around 1.7 million shares is available to be shorted. On a side note, if any of these stocks are diluting right now, just they haven't let the public know through SEC filings or whatever else, this number directly will be affected. So sometimes you have to take all this with a grain of salt. This is to the best of our knowledge, the public's knowledge right now. So again, just do your own due diligence. Moving on to stock number 1. So this one was, I believe, number 3 last week, and Lucid. So on Friday did go up 1.57%. So this is one of those stocks as well, similar to Rivian, Tesla, that's gaining more traction in the broader market. Over the last 1 year, down 42.54%, and in 2024, down 38.72%. Kind of interesting though, I think this is the only stock that actually had this warning. So Lucid is at high risk of performing badly. Learn why. I don't think the other stocks had that. So even Canoo, which is down massively, 97%, that didn't indicate that. Workhorse, same thing. So it's kind of weird about why Lucid is showing that. But beside the point though, 22.36% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 266.4 million shares overall are being shorted. Friday shorts did end up increasing 225,000 shares. Cost to borrow average 1.11, utilization 91.95. Shorts have been kind of lingering around with Lucid for the last several years. So with Gravity unveiling, ramping up on production, it would be fair to assume that shorts might be just naturally returning, but you do at the same time clearly see a very notable increase in available shares. So right now there was, or I guess on yesterday, 8.9 million, and it jumped to in excess of 10. So there's big money buying Lucid for the purposes of lending out shares, even though the cost to borrow average or cost to borrow through IBKR is very, very low. So kind of interesting to see, but nonetheless, let me know your thoughts on these top 5 stocks. Is there any of them that you do own, or are you in them because of a squeeze, or do you actually do believe in these fundamental companies? The only one that I would say is a squeeze only because of its volatility would be, in my opinion, GOEV, possibly, only because, again, the volatility, shorts will be getting in and out, and the cost to borrow is fairly high. So nobody really wants to hold that long term, so they might be just kind of swing trading it, obviously. But no matter what, though, do your own due diligence at the end of the day. Hopefully everyone's having an amazing weekend thus far. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. And one final thing, pop over to my Patreon, where I'm giving buy signals, stocks, options, and crypto. Many of them have been absolute bangers, so pop over there and take a look. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.